Hello heavy metal maidens and masters, I'm Heavy Metal Mama. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm doing a collaboration video with the wonderful Disspossable, and we are listening to 10 of each other's favourite tracks of all time and then giving them a little review, see what we think of them. Now, Disspossable is quite a bit younger than me, so I am quite excited to see what her 10 favourite tracks of all time are, as I'm sure she's quite excited to hear mine. So, because for copyright reasons I can't actually put the track into the video, I'm going to put a little card up the top of the screen and I'm going to put links to each song's YouTube video into the comment section at the bottom so that you can click on those and go and see the videos for yourself if you wish to. But first of all we're going to get on with the first track. So, for Disspossible's number 1 song of her top 10 favourite songs of all time. So this is Motley Crue, Kickstart My Heart. I'll see you back in a sec. So that was Motley Crue, Kickstart My Heart. It's very 80s sort of stadium rock type song. It's got the real chug along to the come on kickstart my heart bit as the chorus. There's obviously the middle 8 beat down, the slow, you know, wind up and then back straight into the chorus again with that real, you know, stadium anthem type tune that you've got there. It's also got the very 80s widdly at the end, showboating type ending, which makes me chuckle. I'm quite familiar with Motley Crue. The drummer in my old band Apnea is a massive fan of Motley Crue, so although I am not 100% au fait with that song, I have definitely heard it before, and yeah, it was very typical Motley Crue. Right, so let's see what the next one is, which is apparently Murderdolls, People Hate Me. So I'll catch up with you in a sec. Okay, so that was the Murderdolls with People Hate Me. I was quite surprised by that actually. The picture of them, it's not a video on YouTube, it's just like a picture of the Murderdolls. From looking at them, I'd heard of Murderdolls before. From looking at the picture, I thought they were going to be much more like sort of Marilyn Manson, and it's almost punk. I think it's described as horror punk. It's quite trebly guitars. It's fairly simplistic. There's not a massive amount of composition going on in there, but it's another sort of, it's got that stadium rock tune. It's got the people hate me sort of anthemic chorus, and I was quite surprised. They did not sound how I was expecting them to, but it was an enjoyable listen. I quite enjoyed it. I'm probably not going to be dashing out to go and buy their album, but I certainly I wouldn't turn it off if it came on my Spotify list, put it that way. Right, so the next tune that we have is, Alice Cooper, Poison. I'll be back in a sec. So that was Alice Cooper, Poison. I love that song. It is a classic. When I was a teenager, probably about 12, 13, my cousins and we used to do a dance troupe together, and we were all members of the local Christian youth group, can you believe it? And we all used to do doing dance numbers in the sort of end of year productions that we used to do. And one year we did a dance, to Alice Cooper's Poison. We backcombed our hair and sprayed it black, we whited out our faces, we did our makeup kind of like Kiss. And it was an absolute blast. We all scurried into the church that we were performing in with our heads down and crouched down in the centre, and then we all sort of jumped up for the one look bit, and all the old ladies gasped. It was fantastic. I think that was possibly the first moment in my life where I realised that being goth would be so cool, just to get that sort of reaction from just the way you looked. That song is an absolute classic and I love it. Very good taste. Right, so the next one that we've got is Blue Felix featuring Sid Wilson, Middle Finger Up. I have never heard of these people before, so this should be quite interesting. I'll be back with you in a sec. Okay, that was Blue Felix featuring Sid Wilson with Put Your Middle Finger Up. I'm definitely seeing a theme here. There was definitely a sort of anthemic, trebly guitar type, quite fast riffing riff that goes on throughout it. It's got that sort of punkness again, and visually, they are quite shocking. They remind me of sort of like the Mudvayne type look, or even Insane Clown Posse. I mean, they don't sound anything like Insane Clown Posse, but it's that shocking look that they have. It was quite a good track. It wasn't composition-wise an amazing composition. It was fairly verse, chorus, mid-late, but I quite like the mid-late. It kind of, the beat down on it. It was really interesting to watch, actually. I have literally never heard of this band, so again, it's always interesting to see new members of the genre that I had no idea about. Right, next it is Frankenstein Drag Queens from Planet 13 with The Witch is Dead. Again, I may have heard of them, but I don't think I've ever heard them, so I'll let you know what I think. See you back in a sec. So that was Wednesday 13's Frankenstein's Drag Queens with The Witch is Dead. I'm definitely feeling a genre coming in here that she likes. That was definitely more, it reminded me of Marilyn Manson from the sort of Smells Like Children album. It's got that sort of snarly voice, definitely a slower guitar riff, with the sort of I enjoyed that. That was cool, and you can definitely tell it's Wednesday 13 that you know, in there. It's just not a Wednesday 13 song, if you get my drift. I enjoyed that. Again, I'm not going to run out and buy the album, but I certainly might well put it on my Spotify playlist from now on. I enjoyed that. I'm quite surprised. Everything so far that she's liked, other than the Blue Felix song, it's fairly old school. It's more the kind of thing that I would expect somebody of my age to listen to, my age or even older to listen to, whereas I know that she's probably at least 10 years younger than me, so I'm quite surprised. You know, I'm definitely enjoying this. So next up we have Wednesday 13 with Rock For Me. I'll see you back in a sec. Okay, so that was Wednesday 13 with Rock For Me. Other than obviously Alice Cooper, because it's a classic, that so far has been my favourite track. I enjoy that. It's got a new metalness to it. But with that Marilyn Manson snarl kind of thing, you know, early Manson snarl. I've actually, my band Apnea, we supported Wednesday 13 about 10 or more years ago. I don't really remember the gig. My husband mentioned it the other day, and he said that apparently the flat above the venue that we were playing, which was the Wedge Dreams in Portsmouth, their toaster caught fire or something. And so he remembers us all piling out. I remember there being a gig and us all having to go out because there was a fire, but I didn't realise it was the Wednesday 13 gig. I remember them. They were really nice people, really chatty, but I don't actually remember playing with them, if you get what I mean. But we did play that venue a lot. But I remember that they were a really nice artist, because a lot of if you were supporting a professional band, a lot of the time they were a little bit, you know, oh, you're just the support, whatever, you know, whereas they were really chatty, they were really down to earth and nice, and I really enjoyed that gig, even though I can't actually remember playing the gig, if you get what I mean. But we've probably played that venue over 100 times, so, you know, and it was 10 years ago and I was 20 something, and yeah, God knows what I've been up to. But right, so that one I definitely enjoyed. That was Wednesday 13 Rock For Me. Oh, the next one is Slipknot, Scream. I definitely know this track, so I'll be back in a sec to let you know what I think of this one. So that was Slipknot, Scream. Typical Slipknot, love Slipknot. I was 18 when their first album came out, Slipknot, so I am very familiar with Slipknot, love them, grew up on them. They are the band of my teenage years, as it were. We've been to see them quite a few times. Every time we go to see them, my husband's 6'5", and every time we went to see them, Sid would jump off of the balcony or a speaker stack or something like that, and he would always end up landing on my husband, because he obviously thought, big guy, he can take me falling on him. So my poor husband, every time we went to see Slipknot, would end up crippled in some way because Sid had landed on him. But hey, I suppose at least it's something to talk about, isn't it? But yes, love Slipknot. Right, so the next track, is Marilyn Manson, Disposable Teens. Again, I am very familiar with this song, so I'll be back in a sec. So that was Marilyn Manson, Disposable Teens. I love Marilyn Manson. He's always been a firm favourite of mine. He is the sound again of my teenage years, which is why I'm so surprised that Disspossable likes all of these tracks. These are songs from my teenage years, and she is considerably younger than me, so she's definitely got an older soul when it comes to her taste in music. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this playlist so far. It's really good. We went to see Marilyn Manson this year at Download Festival, so that was 2018. He was a little disappointing. He was very, very under the influence of something. He had to have a fella point him in the right direction for each song, which, I mean, I would find embarrassing if I was that under the influence that I couldn't actually stand in the right position on stage. But, you know, he is Marilyn Manson. He's kind of a household name and he can do no wrong, really, can he? It's kind of more rock and roll that he's like that. But yeah, we love a bit of Marilyn Manson. Okay, so the next track is, Jack Off Jill, Fear of Dying again. Love Jack Off Jill. I'll be back with you in a sec. So that was Jack Off Jill with Fear of Dying. I love Jack Off Jill. They were one of the female fronted bands from the late 90s, early noughties that really inspired me to want to be in a band, to want to be on the scene. Because there weren't that many women, you know, on the scene. You'd go to a nightclub or whatever and you would be grossly outnumbered by the boys. I mean, at the time, when you're single, that was brilliant. Lots of boys to choose from. But, you know, there were also some real misogynistic tools. So it was quite nice to have some women with some balls saying, no, I'm not going to take this rubbish. I'm not going to be your pretty little thing. I'm here and hear me roar. And yeah, Jack Off Jill were definitely one of those bands I really looked up to. I really, really loved them. Chira Satana, Human Waste Project, Raina from Cold Chamber, she was always quite an inspiration. I also liked The Gathering, but they are not metal at all. But again, Annika was still a big voiced lady taking on a man's world, which I loved, and it made me want to be a singer, which, you know, I got to do for a bit. So yeah, absolutely adore that. Again, very, very good taste, loving it. So the last track is, Cancer Bats with Rats. I haven't heard much Cancer Bats, but one of my friends at work is particularly into them, so I'll check them out right now and I'll be back with you in a sec. Okay, so that was Cancer Bats with Rats. I'm really surprised by that. That was almost hardcore, kind of reminded me a bit of like Amen, sort of a post-punk. Yeah, it was really good. That is going to be a good mosh pit song. I really enjoyed that. They are definitely going on my Spotify. Really, really enjoyed that tune. And I'm a bit gutted because apparently they played my town like last week and I didn't go because I wasn't that, you know, hadn't really heard them. So I'm a little bit gutted because that was a really good tune. I can really see the mosh pit at that gig being kind of insane. So yeah. So they were the top 10 of Disspossible's favourite tunes. I'm really impressed. She's got an eclectic and older taste in music that I really wasn't expecting. I was expecting to get a load of really new bands that I hadn't heard of before, whereas actually some of it's been stuff that's, you know, dear to my heart from my teenagedom, and I mean some of it's just plain old school. I mean Alice Cooper and Motley Crue, that's old school. So yeah. So that was me, Heavy Metal Mama, listening to Disspossible's top 10 favourite songs. I'm thoroughly impressed and I can't wait to see what she thinks of my top 10 favourite songs, which is going to be a very different listen for her. So check out her video. I will put a link at the end of the videos to take you to it so that you can go to her channel. And I've been Heavy Metal Mama. Stay heavy.